Hey everyone. So it's February Flush Day. Yay! Okay, so the pieces that we colored, we did some watercoloring and some acrylics yesterday um, on our jelly plate with these toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls. And I started playing. Of course, I couldn't get stopped. I barely saved one big piece and one little piece for us to play with today because I was, gosh, I was just so entranced with all this. I loved it so much. Found this piece laying there. That might look kind of good on that, huh? But I made journaling cards. This one I didn't cover the back yet. Not sure that I will. I took a little bit of napkin, did some stamping, one stamp. Well, no, I did some background on this too. And then I did some stenciling. Just looks like coffee. Talk about easy. How can you get any easier than that? And I will admit that I am not crazy about the texture of this cardboard, the toilet paper rolls and the paper towel rolls. So I did go over this with either matte medium or, well, I say matte medium. It was oh, gesso, clear gesso textured. I either used that or matte medium Mod Podge or matte Mod Podge. I don't remember which. I used both because I was just messing around because I like that texture better. This one, I took a little bit of book page, tore it. Now, this book page was one that I had ripped kind of some of the words with a sticker, so the words were really dulled and vintagey looking. And then I took a little piece of napkin and I thought it was too bold, so I just took my little sanding block and I went over the top of that to give it some worn look, which, you know, if you're up in a hot air balloon, you probably don't want it to look worn, but this one does. And then I, of course, got it off-centered, so I did a stamp over here to make it look more even, and I really like how it turned out. Then I used some of our papers that we had dyed that we kind of upcycled some old paper, and I put that on the back for a writing spot, and I love how that turned out. And I thought I had another one. Oh, I think they're in here. This is inspired by Seven Plaza Margaret, and I love her file folder February. I really do. So I thought, I wonder if I could make one of those out of these toilet paper and paper towels. This big piece is made from the paper towel roll. And then, and I, because it's not wide enough, because this is the width of it, it wasn't wide enough to have the flaps. I'll link her video below because she puts measurements and all kinds of good stuff, and I'm not going to have that for you. These flaps, I used toilet paper rolls. I took one toilet paper roll, I cut it in half, covered it with book page, and then sewed it onto the outside. That's all I did on that. And then I covered the inside of this with book page. Here are the other two that we used on the jelly plate. I believe both of these were watercolors. And this one, I just did a little stamping, covered it with Mod Podge that was matte Mod Podge. And you can see I folded it because I couldn't decide if I wanted to make a little book out of it or a little file. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I'm still not sure, so I just left it like that. This one I tore in two where it would have the rough, grungy edges. Did a little stamping on that, and that's all I did. And they're writing spots that just set right in here. And then I put some of our papers that we had, again, we recolored some papers to add more color to it. And that's it. I love it. Now today, I think I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Oh, look, I've already doing it differently. That's not how that's supposed to be. This goes like this. That goes like that. And that goes over. and this one goes over. But again, like I said, I'm going to link her video. And I started out thinking I wanted to cover up these creases. And so I used a little bit of washi tape, did some sanding, and then I decided, you know what? I'm not going to try to cover them up because obviously they're from something, you know, a paper towel roll or a toilet paper roll, and I'm not about hiding it as much as if the creases bother you, you could always paint them in. You know, I could have done that better. A lot of ways to hide them or disguise them. It doesn't bother me. I like, you know me, I like things to look grungy, and I just don't mind it. So I left it as it is. But there's a lot of ways I think you could improve on this. Not like, you know, anything can be improved, but I mean, there's a lot of ways to change it to suit you. And I'm just messing with this camera, and I'm making it worse and worse, ain't I? Okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to stay over here where it doesn't want to fall forward. But I actually thought about putting some of these pieces, you know, the little metal pieces. Shauna, you have some of these. These are the thinner ones that I sent that I can't decide if I like them or not, but I thought maybe I would use them on this one. So let's just get started. What I did was, and I'm just going to show you, like I say, I'm not going to show you particularly this one particularly, blah, 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 because I'm going to link her channel and it walks you through it step by step. I was just showing you what I did to make it wide enough, which was I cut the toilet paper roll and sewed the flaps on. That's how I did the flaps. But on this one, I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I did cover it with something. I don't know what. I can't. It doesn't feel like Mod Podge. It feels like it might be that gesso because it has a little bit of texture to it. And after I put it on, I realized it was a textured gesso. So I've straightened up the edges, of course, because when I cut it, I wasn't very good at keeping it straight. And this is half of a toilet paper roll. I cut, that's how I got the two pieces. This is half of the length. So, I mean, you could make a much bigger file folder. You may not even have to do those flaps. I don't know. You know, it might work out good. Actually, it would probably be perfect if you didn't cut it, and then you would have enough to make the flaps. But anyway, so I haven't done anything to the inside. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this one simple. And before we start folding and whatnot, I'm going to stencil this. I have this stencil that's always right here because I use it a lot on invoices and things that I send through my Etsy shop. And I think people are, one of these days I'm going to get a comment that says, well, she spilled coffee all over my invoice, which I thought was not professional. Please know I put that there on purpose. Oh, guess what, guys? On Facebook Marketplace, there was this, I saw this lady had little baskets, and they're 4-inch by 4-inch, and they're 2 inches deep. They're going to be perfect, like where I keep my extra stamps that I always like by my desk. They're going to be perfect for that because the one I have isn't quite that big, and they're kind of falling out everywhere. Anyway, she had a set of 6 of those for $2. I'm like, yes, count me in. So me and the boys, we run to town and picked those up. Super nice lady. So I'm just going to stencil this a little bit. I'm not going to do anything really fancy on the inside. I like the stenciling anyway. So I think instead of having a flap, do I want a flap? Yes, I want a flap. Okay, so I'm going to fold this over to the amount that I want. So I think I want my flap about this size, and that is about an inch and a half, just over an inch and a half. And I'm going to fold it right there, just kind of making a crease. You know, I don't really do good with measuring or the scoreboard or any of that stuff. Burnish this down. Anyway, I was tickled with that find. And then I'm just going to fold this over to meet that, like this. This is how we're going to make our folder this time. And I had in my head, I know what it was. I wanted to use one of the napkins that we did yesterday. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to put it napkin side up where you could write on it, or napkin side down, because it's so pretty. Going through the ones we did yesterday. Maybe he was watching Moana this morning, and in that, ooh, this one's pretty, and it's almost the right size, isn't it? Ooh, ooh. He was watching Moana this morning, and I don't know, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, because who normally watches children's videos other than someone that's got a bunch of kids or grandchildren? I don't know. Scott, my husband, he would have watched that stuff no matter if we had grandkids or not. He loved the Disney stuff. But anyway, he was watching that Moana, and there's a song on there, something shiny. So I was singing, yes, I'm going to put you through this. I was singing to Navid. We call him Navid for short. Navy. Because he came running in here with his little cup wanting his fill of mini M&Ms for the morning. Okay, do I put this right side up where you can write on it? Yes, that's what I want to do. And he came in here wanting his morning fill, and I'm going to mark it right here where this fold is, because there's really no need. Well, but it unfolds. Yeah, I'm going to glue it all the way around. I sure am. And I was singing to him the same as that song. I was singing. Let's see, how did it go? Well, that's stupid. I stenciled and then I'm going to cover it up. So, wow, what a big, okay, I'm not going to do that. I wanted, the reason I was going to do that was because I wanted to have a side pocket here. So I'm only going to do it on this front piece. That way I only wasted just a little bit time. Let me mark it. I was singing, Navy, he's so wonderful, he's wonderful, Navy. And he looked at me like, could we get on with the chips, please, and stop whatever that is you're doing? Because they know Grandma can't sing. She should not try to sing. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that, because I'm just going to make this cover the front. And I'll save this for a little pouch or something. So I'm going to glue this right in here. And then I'll cut it. And I'm probably going to sew around it too. And I haven't made one of these, so I'm hoping this turns out as great as it is in my head. Probably have to do some trimming. Poor little fella. Whenever I started to get his M&Ms, I was following him up the hall, and he was like trying to watch me over his shoulder to make sure, is she really coming? Am I really getting the M&Ms? And he's side-eyeing me, and he accidentally stubbled. I don't know why I got tickled, but he looked so funny. Okay, so that's going to be our inside, and that's not going to want to stick very well. So I didn't use Fabri-Tac. If I'd used Fabri-Tac, it would hold better. I'm going to go ahead and sew around this, and I'll be right back. I may sew around the whole thing, but I am for sure going to sew on this piece here so that this will stay down. Be right back. Okay, so I've sewn around it. Love it. Went ahead and sewed around the whole thing. Did a little bit of different stitching on this end so that it would just have some little character to it. So let's go ahead and punch our hole, because I'm not going to do it the same as this one where it has the two that go over. I'm just going to do one that wraps this way kind of thing. Like I said, this one's not going to be fancy, but I don't think it has to be. I think this is so fun to make things like this because, I mean, really, they're super flat. They're super easy. This is not a toilet paper. This is the paper towel. So if you're squeamish or, you know, don't really want to do that. Ooh, and I think we can put one of these metal pieces right in the stinking center like that. And that is going to give it so much. Oh, you know what else I have? This might be the shortest video ever. Okay, so we got this. Let's punch our hole. And I use the small hole because, which is what? What size is the small one? It is an 1/8 inch hole, because the elastic stuff I have to tie it with is not very thick. So I just used a smaller one. And you know, that was dumb because look, now I have stapled a hole right through my deal. This needed to be done before I put on that. That's okay. We're going to fix it. What a fool. Okay, look, it's fine. We're going to fix it. We are. This is going to still be amazing. It's I've had so many comments. I love that you keep in your mistakes. It keeps it so real. Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If I didn't, there wouldn't be a video. It'd be so short. Be like, here it is. Now it's done. There'd be no process. And look, I've lost. Okay, how many eyelets can we go through? That's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing to see here. Well, seriously. Okay, I got it. It's going here. I got it. All right, look at that. Do you believe I finally got it in there? Okay, now I think there's enough room that I can go in between my plastic and this thing. And there was. Okay, so I didn't run it all the way through. See, I just did it on the inside. And then we'll fix that. We'll fix that back part. It'll be okay. But she's so nice and her things are so nice. And it was just, ooh, I like this burgundy. We're going to do this burgundy one. This has a knot in it. I'm not in the mood to try to get it out. So we're going to do it like that. Well, and it's already cut. Look at that. Okay. Well, this is getting way too easy. I promise I did not have that plan. That just worked out wonderful. So I'm going to put both of them through this hole. I got to not put them through this. See, this is going to be tricky. I got to do it the hard way because I already put on my pocket, which was silly. So please note, if you make one this way, don't put your pocket on till you're done with all this closure business. This is how our closure is going to be this time. Something like this. So I need to try to put a knot in it called not thinking. I got such fizz. I was so excited that I just... All right. Now I'm not sure. Ooh, I got an idea. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Go ahead and do my knot. And I don't know why I'm showing you this because I'm hoping none of you guys do this same thing that I've done. I'm going to take my awl, bring it down to the edge so that my knot will go all the way down. Now, I know you can't see what I'm doing because I've boogered this up where you can't tell. But I think that I got it. I think it's tight enough. yeah, it's pretty good. All right. I'm going to cut this excess off. Another thing is when I go to put my whatever I'm going to do in this pocket, I'll have to watch for my knot. But that's okay. It's all right. I like it. It's going to be fine. I don't know if I'm trying to convince you of how great it is or me. Okay. Now, got to cover up this. That's kind of neat, isn't it? We could put that little thing right there. What do you think? Does that look okay? Do we want a piece of metal right there for no apparent reason? You know what? I kind of feel like kind of wish I hadn't done it this way. I kind of wish I had maybe put it back here to loop around. That way it wouldn't interfere with my pocket. And the only way you would know it back here is if you open that up. So if I were you, I would probably do it on the back versus the front. But, you know, live and learn. I think I want this a little bit tighter. That's okay. I can do it later. I'm wasting your time. Okay. I think I'm going to put this here. And I have these words that I printed on tea-dyed paper a long time ago. Let's see if we have anything that might be something that goes, oh, here's notes. I don't really know that I want it to say notes, but I don't like this number more than I do anything. But then when we're done, what are we going to do in here? Oh, I got an idea. Okay, it's going to be fine. I got another idea. Okay, so since we're putting rusty bits on this, and I think I want to, I know this doesn't make much sense to have this huge number there, but that's what I want. Who says our things have to make sense, right? I also want this to be a little bit more happening, like, yeah, like that. Like, you like that where the kind of got some background to the numbers? I know this is kind of silly, but I like that. So I'm going to glue that on there. What about, wondering if I want some cheesecloth or something. May not look right, I don't know. Or that probably doesn't make sense to have something like that behind there, does it? Well, good. That means I'll probably need to do it because I'm not known for making sense. I'm not sure if I'm known for anything. It needs to have, maybe the metal piece isn't even what I need to have there, but I want it there. Doesn't show up very good though because everything's so. I guess you know what? If you're happy with it, then do it. Isn't that what I tell you? As long as you like it, it's pleasing to your eye, then it's right. Well, that's what I'm going to do. Yes, I'm going to follow my own advice. Now, while that's drying, I think I'm going to work on taking the other card that I have left from yesterday's jelly plate session and put some of this stuff away. I was wondering about putting one of these numbers on that hole. Maybe do a little number cluster of some kind. Maybe put a little piece of fabric or some of that mesh. I guess if you're writing, you could just pull that out so that you have a flat spot. You know what I mean? Looks kind of silly to have that number right here in the middle of everything. I'll give that some more thought. We'll just go move along. Okay. So on the inside, what I have in mind is I'm going to make this. I'm going to put a rusty, one of the rusty clamps hinges here and make like a scrappy notebook of sorts. Still don't understand the purpose of a flap. Why did I do this flap? Why? What's it doing? Nothing. I need to find my other card so that we can make journaling card for the inside. So I'm going to have to cut it down a little bit. I want to use some more black ink on this just to take off some of that white. But what size does it need to be? I need to cut it down. I wondered about putting something just simple like this. This is this a sticker? Yes, it is. This is from Noelle. Pretty Sassy. Ugh. Noelle, I'm sorry. I can never, ever say that right. Oh, look, I'm using my black on my brown again. Just something like that, because this is just going to be a really neat journaling card. And I think I'm going to do two more things to this. I'm going to sew around this before I glue on my back. And I'm going to... Ooh, that wasn't dry when I moved it. And doesn't that look neat? I'm going to sew around this piece. And then I'm going to splatter it with some gold or bronze, whatever it is, just to give it a little bit more color. And then we'll sew on a back piece of some tea-dyed paper. And that will be our journaling card. I'm thinking I want to make a tag out of this to do. That's exactly what I want to do. Okay, so because this was laminated, my puncher didn't like it, so it didn't come out freely. I had to rip it. But you know what? I don't care. I think it makes it look even grungier. So I'm just going to make sure that it's going to fit before I go do all the sewing. So I'm going to sew around this first, this middle piece, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I grabbed some tarnished brass and a piece of tea-dyed paper that I'm going to glue onto the back of this. I always put a little bit of glue where my thing, I don't know why, I always just put some on where my stitches are when I'm gluing something onto it. I don't know if I think that really makes a difference, but I think it might hold it a little better. In my mind, it makes all kinds of sense. So there is our back. I'll trim that whenever, after I get done sewing. But I want to fleck this, but I don't know if I want any on this part or not. So for now, I'm going to lay this over it so that it really doesn't get on my words. That really wasn't big enough. Here, I'll do this. Good thing I laid that over it, because that's the only place I flicked, wasn't it? Let me get me a wipe. Thinking I might want to put a few flecks in there. There we go. Actually, I like them smushed. That looks kind of neat. So when this dries a bit, I'm going to sew around it. I'm going to keep this neat little piece of paper. Now I'm going to glue on my tag. Okay, so I've kind of smeared it a little bit. I don't know if you can tell it, but I don't care. Luckily, I'm a grungy crafter, so I don't care about that. So while that's completely drying, before I sew, I'm going to put our rusty hinge with our papers in the middle. Still can't decide if I want to put that there. Somebody can give me an idea if I want to put that there. Okay, let me grab my rusty hinge. Okay, I grabbed one of these things, and I think that's going to fit perfect. So usually what I do is I just lay it down, try to center it, and then I just mark the holes for me to, that's where I need to punch. Like that. And then because I've took the back off of this, I can see I'm right where I need to be. And then I have some, grab my scraps here. And I need to make sure that they're wide enough to fit in this. So here's a couple of short pieces. You know, I guess as long as I get it in one side pretty good, that's going to work. That's what we're going to make work anyway. Okay, what do you think? Do we like it? Need to glue that down, don't I? That's where my little seam is at on my toilet paper. Only thing I'm not sure of, other than this will hold my papers down. Why did I leave this flap? I mean, really, it doesn't serve a purpose other than if you want to write, make a little list. That's silly. So I'm going to sew around this. I think it's good and dry. So I'm going to sew around it, and then I'll be right back. Okay, let's trim around this. Just trim it up. And I think that, you know, like I always think, it needs a number. Look at me using a stamp block. I wonder what it would look like to use this color stays on. I don't think it's going to look very good, but I'm going to try it. I don't think it'll show up. It did, and it looks cool. It looks really grungy. I like it. Okay. Because it kind of soaks into this. Yeah, I like that. Okay. I feel good about that. So I grabbed my little box of pre-made stuff here. Mostly it's paper clips, like I've just tied on fabrics. Thought maybe I might have something cool. Oh, look at that. That would go good, wouldn't it? It's on a paper clip, but we can change that. Look at that. Put it on a ball pin. Put it through our little deal here. I love these journaling cards. They're just the perfect thickness. I really, really like them out of these rolls. Okay. So there is our little folder. What do you think? Do we like it, or do we think, well, why did you do that? I like it. I still don't understand the purpose of this flap, why I did that. I guess really, though, it could all be writing spot. You know what I mean? You can write on that. It's fine. Now I just need to figure out what to do with that. Do I want to put this metal piece here? I really kind of feel like I do. It doesn't show up like great. And I don't know that it wouldn't be just as good to put the number there. Okay, so I'm not going to do either one. You guys let me know. If this was yours, which would you put on it? The number or the metal piece? To cover up our hole. Or would you just leave the hole and think, you know, that's Christy, she does that. Or I could put a brad in there. That would be a rusty brad. But what would be the point? It wouldn't be holding anything. Anyway, let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about this project. And the journaling cards. Love the journaling cards. And I really do like this folder. This was probably the one that is my favorite. And this one, again, was inspired by Margaret. It actually has a purpose. The flap has a purpose. Cute, cute. I love them. And to think, we did this out of paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls. Wonder about putting a piece of distress tape over it. I have some colored here too. But I'm kind of thinking maybe just a regular piece of distress tape. Might look good. What do you think? Let's try it. Now it just looks like you're covering up a hole. Okay, we'll stick with, do we want the number or the metal piece? Oh, I wanted to show you this. I did this in this horrible. I saw a video by, for you, see, Grace for You, Blessings for You. Her name is Lonnie, and I'm going to link it. She did a February flush, and I'm going to link it. And hers were beautiful. She covered them with, I think, tea bags maybe. But this was some tea-dyed tracing paper, and I covered a sticker thinking I could make it look better. And all I did was completely hide the sticker, and it looks like I left toilet paper on my roll. So that one's a no-go for me. Hers were really pretty. Hers don't look like that. And I'm so sorry, Lonnie, that I will put the name of your channel across my screen because I've gone that up so bad. But okay, so here we go. Back to, see, if I hadn't put this tag there, I could have used that as a flap. But no, I couldn't because I put my hole there. See, this flap has really thrown me off, hasn't it? I don't know why I did that. Okay, so there's the two folders, my writing spots. I feel like there was another writing spot that I cannot, maybe not. 1, 2, and then the ones that are in this one. Maybe that's all there was. Was that all there was? You don't care. You've already seen this once. Let me know what you think about this. Did you like this project? Is it something you would make? And I wanted to say about Margaret's too. It's full size. So like not out of a, you know, something small like this. If this was something that you liked, you could certainly make it way bigger. Okay. Well, stink. I really thought there was more journaling cards. You guys, did I show you more? I wish you could answer me sometimes. I bet you're thinking, yeah, we wish we could tell you to just move along. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you next time. Bye.